Well, everybody, thank you for coming over here. We're going to be talking today about consulting, startups, and how it relates to NFTs and startups in the ecosystem. And super excited to be here with the following panelists, all subject matter experts in the space, and we're going to deep dive into a lot of the aspects of consulting in the Web3 space and NFT space, and some of the positives, some of the negatives, and where we're going to go. And that's why this is a future stage. So excited to get this going. And sorry when I keep looking back at my stage if the noise cuts out, but just want to make sure this clicker works properly, and I think we're good. Okay, perfect. So we'll start off with quick introductions for all the panelists over here. I can start off quickly. I'm Niro. I'm Crypto on Twitter, and I run a Web3 consulting company called Multi-Chain Advisors. We've worked with over 35 NFT projects over the last year. We've helped Web3 and NFT companies raise money as well, capital raise, advisory. So we focus on marketing strategy, go-to-market, partnerships, collabs, so everything in between. A bit of like an incubator / VC advisory company. And I'll let the other folks over here introduce themselves in the order that we have over there.
Hey everyone, my name is G Beans or Bryan. I've been working at Multi-Chain Advisors for about 10 months now, and I'm a senior strategy associate at Multi-Chain. And prior to joining Web3, I had some experience in finance and consulting.
Awesome. My name's Ahash, or Northern Ape, on crypto Twitter. I'm a CPA in Canada. I worked 4 years in accounting before coming into Web3 last year. I'm the chief of staff, so I help manage people and help clients, execute their goals.
Hi, my name is Julie Lamb. I'm a female founder. I'm a CEO, an executive producer. I work with a group of colleagues. We have NFT VIP and See My NFT. We do high-end token-gated access to events, and we get to participate, produce, and share with like-minded folks. So I've been part of starting. I will continue to start. I'm not sure if we ever really get to an end, right? So I'm happy to talk about startups and NFTs. Bought crypto in 2017. I did not know at the time that it was a dip. And my favorite was Ethereum. So here I am with you guys now, 2023. It's been a long, strange trip.
Awesome. It has been a crazy year. It's been a crazy journey, to say the very least. It's been an eventful year, but consulting is still thriving, and in times like this, these hard times is when companies need the support from professionals and service providers who have experience not only in the Web3 and NFT space, but also folks like the panelists over here who have experience like outside of NFTs. And I guess I should talk about my background as well. So I'm a CPA as well in Canada. I have a management consulting background. Worked in Silicon Valley with a lot of mergers and acquisition. Worked on multi-billion-dollar deals to millions, like smaller million-dollar deals, with startups and whatnot. So that's where the relevance comes in with the consulting side. So we'll go on to just what's going on? Huh? I think we got a different presentation here.
I did see the presentations previous to ours, so if we need to do a review here in the room, we can. I'm just teasing.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
That looks like us.
Awesome. So let's talk about NFTs and what consulting looks like with NFTs, right? So this entire space, the Web3 space, is over $1 trillion. Is $1.3 trillion when I last checked today, and that's a lot of money. And in that space, we're talking about Web3 applications, we're talking about blockchains, we're talking about NFTs. And in such a fast-growing, ecosystem, fast-growing like economy, what is like some of the things that are needed, right? That's where marketing comes in. That's where consulting comes in. Strategy, partnerships, collaborations, how to expand outside of this Web3 bubble per se, or NFT bubble per se, and how to get out of that. And go more mainstream and get more adoption. So it's a very fast-growing industry, very fast-growing space, but there's still a lot of nuances that are needed to help these companies become giants and the next big tech companies of the future. And so the question is, how do consultants help, right? So where do consultants fit into the picture? right? And that's where, building an engaging community. One of the biggest aspects of NFTs and how it relates to, you know, I guess like value proposition is community, right? So communities is one of the things that consultants help, build and help manage and help, nurture that community. And it's not always easy getting an organic community. Big brands spend millions and millions of dollars to do this. Figuring out value proposition, right? That's another area that consultants can help. Figuring out return on investments and return on assets. That's also another area that we can help out with. It looks like we're getting some nice background music over here, giving us some good vibes.
We like it. It's a great vibe.
And then navigating, legal fees and regulations and all that stuff. That's a huge area that consultants and legal professionals would be helping out with. And just all the stuff, valuation models, capital raises, all that good stuff. So that's where consultants come through. And we got a whole panel here, so I'm not going to be talking, throughout the whole thing. We got a lot of questions that I want to ask the subject matter experts over here. So that's where I'm going to start off with this. So we got panel questions, and we'll have some, if we have some time in the end, we'll open up for Q&A as well, if you guys have any questions. But let's get on to the first question. So for you guys, what are the key opportunities and challenges in the consulting and strategy space for NFTs?
Pre-client or during client?
Both.
Well, pre-client, I think some of the key opportunities and challenges. I think some of the challenges are not building your house on nice, solid ground, right? Who's the first person that you add to your team? Like it or not, should be a great attorney. That's how I feel. That person's going to keep you, hopefully, if they have your best interest in mind, they're going to keep you from making some maybe not so wise decisions along the way, or at least building your team and making it happen. I think some of the biggest challenges once you get a client is that they don't listen to you. I mean, like you're coming to them like you have come to me or us or our team. So, it's a person's opinion to do it. We want to help our clients do well, and we want to witness a long lifespan and success. So I think, those are the two challenges I see, pre and during.
No, it's a really good point.
To add on to that, exactly what Julie said, but on top of that, I think people have to realize that a lot of these NFT projects get a lot of funding up front. And I think a lot of these guys don't really have a lot of traditional business experience. And so, when you get $300,000 or $400,000 up front, you end up, you want to buy all these expensive things, or you want to just, throw big events. And then what happens afterwards, right? How are you going to build a project? How are you going to build a business when you've used a bunch of your funding already? So I think a lot of these projects, one of the main things they have to focus on is getting really good cash flow and, establishing really good financial understanding. Yeah.
Definitely, and I think it's also very important to surround yourself by a team that's driven and has focused on the vision that everyone in your company coincides with.
100%. And I think that's on the opportunity side, right? Like,
why? No, we love the music. No, this is great. Are you guys minding the music?
Good
It's
vibes,
like
good
groovy background vibes for us. It's better than an elevator pitch right now, right?
Yep. Add some. maybe. But I think the opportunities on the NFT side, right, is similar to what everyone says. Like, how do you utilize NFTs to create more value for not only your community, but outside of your community, right? So I think one of the key things that are happening right now is projects are raising a lot of money, maybe in the hundreds of thousands, maybe in the millions of dollars, but they don't know what to do with those funds, similar to what you guys were mentioning, and they don't know what to do with the NFTs, right? They have a community, everyone's got a community, but what now, right? So I think the opportunities for NFTs is like, being a loyalty program for big brands, right? When NFTs are able to be more than just community, that's when I think the real use cases will start happening, and yeah, so that's where I think the big, they talked about the challenges, so I'm talking about the opportunities. So I think really good points over there. We'll go on to the next question.
See, that's a key opportunity right there, right?
I think the dog is agreeing with what we're saying.
For sure.
All right, so this is a big question. What are the potential long-term impacts? And I think the slide is like a bit cut over here, but let's say what are the long-term impacts on NFTs across various industries, and how can consulting strategy firms, help businesses? help businesses. Okay, so I'm gonna like summarize this question. Like, how does consulting companies help like NFT, different like industries, with adapting this new technology?
Cool. So I think the fact that NFTs are, incorporated into the blockchain gives a lot of opportunities for a lot of companies. Like even this event itself, with a lot of ticketing and stuff like that, with things being on the blockchain, it's a lot harder for you to do fraud. It's a lot harder for there to be, duplications and all sorts of nonsense, right? So even from a ticketing standpoint, like NFT.NYC could be using NFTs, and they are, right, with the digital twin NFT to, establish like these tickets as NFTs, for one example. But there's a bunch of other use cases, right? Legal firms could be using it for, documents. Games could be using it to, allow, trading and stuff like that. That's more trackable. And as we go into long-term applications, we're only going to see more and more innovation with NFTs. We have a couple clients that even do, DeFi, decentralized finance, using NFTs, which is quite fascinating. So.
I heard something in one of these rooms from Larry DeBoskin, one of the contributing writers for Rolling Stone, multi-Grammy winning writer. He said, it feels like we're late to a party that has not yet started. So that's why we're here, you guys. We're here to learn from colleagues like mine on stage, from the person sitting next to you that might be a real newbie, or actually someone who might be here for a while that we're at these conferences. I think the biggest, really the long-term kind of effects that are coming out of the technology are how we as the front line of this army of information, thought leader, gatherers, fire in the belly folks, we're that friendly fire. It's going to hit us first. We're going to learn the challenges. We're going to take the bumps. We're going to take the bruises, a little broken rib and a hurt arm and a cut thing here, because we've learned. We're going to help layer 1 and layer 2 businesses learn how to grow and scale. And we do that by building ourselves as just regular, you think of yourself as a business. How do you start? Start with a good attorney. Start with a good partnership agreement. Start with a good idea of where you want your company to grow. Is this a one-off event? Is it a multi-type of event? I think we can make a change in impact work. How people decide to be able to purchase real estate in groups, impact work in how healthcare can be ultimately on the blockchain, because we should be able to own our own information, and states like California are putting into legislation your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, and auto type of documentations are actually living on the blockchain. So you guys, we're out there where the front runners have taken the first hit. Where are we going to take that impact? And that's going to be where the implication for, I think, this technology is going.
Very well said. I definitely agree with that. We're like pioneers in this space, and we're going to be able to help shape what it's going to look like. So I completely agree with that. I think that's a really good point. Anything else to add over here, guys? No pressure, because we got a lot of questions. All right, I'll go on to the next one. All right, guys. All right. I think these slides we're having some issues with the slides over here. We had to convert it from Canva to PowerPoint. I think some stuff has been lost, but I remember some of the questions, so we're gonna wing it from here on out. So in terms of I guess consulting, right, with engagements, what's been like the greatest experiences for you guys as being consultants? Like, do you guys have examples of what those look like? And if you want to share that, that'd be great.
Examples of?
Your like consulting engagements and like great, experiences you guys had, or what's been your favorite experience, being a consulting guy in the Web3 NFT space?
One of my favorite things about just like the Web3 industry is just how fast-paced it is. Every day is a new day for like the multi-chain team and our clients. If there's a big event that affects the entire crypto industry, we have to be quick to pivot and just capitalize on the opportunity, or make sure we minimize the potential like negative effects of what occurred, and just staying on your toes and just pivoting as quick as possible is one thing that I really enjoyed in the Web3 space.
Yeah, I would say we had a client called Oak Paradise, and before they came to us, twice the team was having internal issues, and they had to delay the mint like 4 months apart and then 6 months apart. So this mint was supposed to happen like in June, and these days we're discussing this like the next year kind of, right? And there was all this discussions like, oh, these guys are rugs, blah, blah, blah. There was a bunch of like team changes. There was a bunch of like craziness that was going on. And so they came to us to launch for the third time, which was crazy. And you know, this is a gambling project. You're trying to do a casino. There's a bunch of regulation stuff with that. There's a bunch of FUD because there's all these existing people who had whitelist in the first Discord, which got shut down. There was a second Discord, which also got shut down. And this is the third Discord. So in a week, we had to go and I think there was like 8,000 tickets or something. And we had to go through 8,000 tickets, address all this madness and craziness, get everyone their whitelist, and we ended up successfully minting, and that was just an absolute crazy shit show. Yeah.
I like to say to people, some of us, we fancy ourselves entrepreneurs, but guess what? You're probably not. Okay? I'm maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I'm gonna have fire in the belly, and if I wanna believe in myself, and I might not be able to get there in that moment, I'm gonna bring one of my colleagues in and said, this is what I think I want, this is where I'd like to go, can you help me get there? Maybe helping get there, they just see it or feel it in me, and they give me practical advice, again, like, you know, is this a business you want to get into? Maybe being an entrepreneur or a startup is not meant for you. Maybe not getting pre-seed, seed, or Series A funding is not meant for you. Maybe you're meant to bootstrap it. Maybe you're actually meant to become a dev because it really does turn you on about how the blockchain works, and you can make that happen. Or you realize, wait a minute, I really do want to study law, and I want to help artists understand about their intellectual property. So we're in a very safe place while we get to play around in the mud pies here to figure it out, and having colleagues like here up on the stage helping me sometimes on a day-to-day basis decide, is this the right space for me? Am I meant to be a startup? And then if I'm going to bring in a consultant, am I going to listen to that person?
Well, that's the biggest challenge, right? You can give the best advice, and if the client doesn't take it, then it doesn't matter, right? So that's one of the biggest challenges as a consultant too, is no matter how good the advice is, if it doesn't get executed, your brand is also associated with that client. So you can give them the greatest advice, they don't take it, and then if something bad happens, the consequences are also on you, right? And that's one of the greatest challenges as being a consultant in the Web3 space. There's so much going on a week basis. There's rapid changes in the market, there's rapid changes in the industry, there's new tech being developed on a weekly basis. If a client isn't on top of it, or even if you're on top of it and you give them the advice and they don't take it, then it doesn't really matter. So.
But I do want to add in there, like, the good part about being in consulting is that you get to, you know, see ideas come to fruition, right? So the most, you know, like rewarding aspects for me of consulting and you know, consulting the NFT Web3 space is, you know, seeing ideas come to fruition, right? An example is, you know, some of our clients, like Sharkify, for example, who's like the founders right here in this presentation, but they're one of our clients, and we've seen them go from an idea like mid last year to now the #1 NFT lending protocol in all of crypto, right? The highest TVO, the highest you know, daily active volume, daily active users. So to see ideas like that, Oak Paradise, another situation, right? We seen an idea become a, you know, top you know, casino gambling project in the ecosystem. So being able to see these ideas come to fruition and being a part of that and helping, you know, shape what that looks like and helping clients achieve the goals is like the best part of Web3 consulting, and it shows us that, you know, that is a key service that's missing in this ecosystem, right? So I got the questions back, so we're good, guys. I'm gonna go on to the next question over here. For you guys, this is probably an interesting question. If you're a founder out there, if you're just curious about NFTs, what are the most effective strategies for monetizing NFTs, and how can consulting and strategy firms assist NFT projects in maximizing revenue?
Well, I think one thing that's important in this discussion is royalties, right? The great thing about NFTs is the fact that you can get some royalties in the secondary marketplace, right? So this allows for, you know, project owners to get this reoccurring revenue model endlessly, right? As long as your NFTs are getting traded, as long as there's volume that's going towards these NFTs, as long as they're working hard in developing new products, as the floor price for this NFT increases, as there's more trade volume, the founders are always getting rewarded, right? And I think that's going to be like ongoing. I think royalties are an extremely important and critical part of NFTs. I think they'll always have, they'll always be a key value proposition for NFTs, right? Because that's why even a lot of artists wanted to join the NFT space, so they would get royalties for their NFTs and it would go directly to them.
Definitely, definitely. agree on the royalties aspect for sure. Anyone else have a?
I think another big thing, you guys, maybe sometimes your art doesn't sell, right? Maybe you go and you play a gig and you're playing music and you want to give somebody your song because you just want to gift that to them because you, maybe for whatever reason, you gift that to that person. Maybe your NFTs, what they do is they're just an extension of your marketing strategy with your consultants. And part of that marketing strategy is because you've done that and you now understand in that art and releasing it in that digital currency to your community and to the people who are your fans, maybe then a larger institution, those institutional investors like a Delta Airlines or a Walmart or an Amazon says, I love your song, I think that's great, I love my kid, they went and they brought this home, we can't stop listening to it in the car, and now I'm gonna hire you as someone who is either an expert in the space or a voice that's gonna reach to my audience. So being I hate to use like a brand ambassador, but someone who really is brought in as as the face of a company at times. So I think your NFTs can be, even though they might not bring in actual money, they can bring in the currency of awareness, because I think that's attention and awareness is a big deal.
100%. I would agree, and this is a conversation that comes up all the time when we're talking to different teams and founders, and we explain to them sometimes it's not about getting the biggest chunk of the pie right off the bat with a high mint or trying to raise as much money through this quote unquote capital raise and potentially shooting yourself in the foot. Sometimes the best thing to do is maybe start off with a smaller mint price, show some success, and then you can do a different higher mint price, mint in the future. Or in many cases, NFTs are free marketing, right? You pretty much any kind of campaign that you need to do, NFTs are the free marketing associated with that, right? And sometimes they could be a loss leader, they can just do it for free and give free value to your community and your most quote unquote hardcore fans, right? And that's something that bigger companies with bigger budgets are able to do because they can spend money on art and whatnot and get that going. So we're seeing a lot of these use cases, even in the metaverse. Some examples would be for example, a Nike. Let's say they come up with a hoodie and then they have a metaverse airdrop NFT in the hood of that same hoodie, right? So that's what's up on that end, right? But we are wrapping up this presentation. I know there's less than a minute left, so I do want to thank all the panelists over here for you guys' time. It's been great. Thanks for all the discussions and great answers to the questions. And folks, if you guys have any questions about consulting in NFTs, Web3, or startups, do chat with us and get in contact, and we can go from there. But thank you everyone for tuning into this presentation. It's been a pleasure.